That's what He's looking for, people to come into Him with truth. As we lined it up with the last church, remember the last church, thou sayest, thou needest nothing, but knowest not. Well, that's how people are today. They enter the door saying, fine, praise the Lord. So they don't even ask the Lord. When He said clearly, I know what you need, but you got to ask. So when you're in worship with God, that's when you ask.
That's when I guess I believe that's when the Spirit really, when you're praying in the Spirit, He knows what we might need. We don't know.
Right.
And I guess I always just figure, well, the Lord knows, and a lot of things I just say, Lord, you know, but I just always trust that the Spirit knows and He'll pray those things.
And you see, even prayer don't have to be that we, like I explained to Pat. Pat was, Paul said, always be in prayer. And she said, how can you always be in prayer? I said, Pat, you don't have to pray speaking. I said, the Lord reads your mind. I said, when you're worshiping the Lord, you can be saying, Lord, thank you for showing me this week that I'm prideful. God, help me. Help me to get out of that prideful state, that I get rid of that stone, that I can become what you want me to become. But between you and God in your mind, worshiping Him with truth. When you come into the altars with prayer or whatever, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me these things. And if you do, that's fine. I'll talk to you about it. I don't share nothing. Me and Lisa don't share nothing that anybody tells us. Unless they say, tell it. We had somebody tell us this week about something. And they told us not to tell it. We're not telling it. We don't tell it. So if something comes out, it comes from somebody else, I'll guarantee you that. But you understand what I'm talking about? But when God shows us we got a problem, or we know we got a situation, we can't just wait on God. That's what He's saying. You got to ask. So ask Him, in your mind. I got this problem. Help me, Lord. And the real problem, explain it in detail, saying, Lord, you already know, but Lord, I need help with this. This pride is just destroying me. This envy. God, I'm envious and I'm sorry. Lord, help me with this jealousy. God, I need help. Help me to be able to defeat the enemy when he brings it. When you come into worship of the Lord, and that's what we're here for. But we're not even really stepping into true worship, because when the praise and worship music is going, are we even really got our mind on Him? And then when we get our mind on Him, we're boldly entering the throne of grace, and we're really kneeling down right before His altar, right before Him and Jesus. And we can talk to them one-on-one. And we don't have, that's how we do it. And you're right. If we come in speaking, Lord, this week it's been all these things and been watching these nudie movies and been to beer joint all week and all that. But praise the Lord. Well, automatically, and I'll probably going to keep doing it next week. Well, you speaking death to it. And everybody don't, and it's, the religion, I'm not trying to put down no religion, but coming before and telling the priest of all these things. He does say that we should help one another. That we should come before one another and help, one another. But like we said, you better be running with people that prove themselves. Now, do they have to know the deep, dark things? No. No. But that's what He's talking about. When you come in today and people meet you, how's it going? There's situations, but I know God's going to deliver. That's speaking life. That's being truthful, and He honors that. He honors that truthfulness instead of coming in and saying, it's fine, praise the Lord, and we got our face, it's fine. Everything's perfect. Praise the Lord. Thank God for it. Because we can't cover it. But this is the first step, truth. And being truthful to self. To learn that we got issues that we think we're okay in that we're not. And it's not just the things that we even know about. There's bigger issues and other things in our lives that we are overlooking. That we may be able to see in somebody else and don't even realize we got it. Don't even realize we got that same problem. Did I answer what you're talking about? Anyone else? We know we're not Christ-like yet. And we'll continue to grow in that. But first, you got to be a willing vessel to accept truth. And most people will run from truth. Why won't people come to church? They don't want the truth. They don't want to hear about hell. They don't want to hear about this. They don't want to hear about that. They want to stay in their comfort zone of things. Why don't most people want to come to a Bible study and learn? Well, they want to stay in their comfort zone. They're held accountable, as the Word says. Once you learn and you know of that knowledge, you're held accountable to that knowledge. Well, most people says, well, I'll just avoid it. Well, the sad thing, I believe, if you avoid it deliberately, you're still going to be held accountable for it, because you avoided God's blessing to try to help you. I believe that. You avoided it deliberately. Now, there's times we can't help some things, but that's very few. There's not many times that we should not be able to come together. We should be able to come together most of the time. No matter, it's been many times that I've been so down that I didn't want to be here. But I came anyway. But before I was really lying about it. I'm fine. Praise the Lord. But everybody knows I wasn't. Putting on my mask, as we said. And people's been taught that, as like Teresa said, for 30 years. And it's hard to break. Well, let me tell you. It's easy to break with God. When you admit to God saying, Lord, I don't want to be that. Help me not to be that. I want to be that humbling, loving, peaceful person that you want me to be. Help me to become that. I'm willing to meet you. I'm willing to encourage myself and come towards you and begin to change. Show me what I need. Show me the way. And He'll show us the way. He'll show us in the Word the way. Anyone else? Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for Himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every one that is proud in heart is an abomination of the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. That lines up exactly with what he's saying. If we are a person that thinks that they're clean in their own eyes, what is that? That's really pride. And as we said a lot of times, that we won't admit that we have problems. Or when a preacher preaches a sermon that hits us right between the eyes, and we know it's us having that problem. And the Lord we want Him to come up and get prayer to get help because of we're worried about what others think. What is that? That's pride. That's pride. And that prideful things is what's stopping the power of God from delivering us from many things, from bringing us forth. Because He said, commit thy works, and thy thoughts shall be established. His thoughts, all these things shall be established. His vision shall be established if we'll learn to accept the truth and become what He wants to become, and realize that in our own eyes, we ain't so right. We ain't so right about as holy as we think we are. We ain't so right about as loving as we think we are. We ain't so right about some things that we think we are. And we have got to get to that place so that He can help us to overcome and help us to get to that place. And the Lord hath made all things. As we said, He made them for His glory. And even the evil things that come against us is really for His glory, to uplift Him. Some things you're going through, you're going to help others. But afterwards, when He brings us through it and we see how God has moved, it should be encouraging us. And we can go in even deeper of how it brings forth patience, experience, and hope, and all these things, all these tribulations and problems bring for us. And I know that it would be wonderful if it was just the day we bowed a knee, we had a street of gold and everything handed to us, and let's be spoilt brats. But how are we going to learn our problems and our situations unless we go through situations in life? We're not. Life is a learning tool. Life is a learning tool to learn how to trust God. Life is a learning tool to show us about ourselves. Every one of us is unique. Every one of us is different. Every one of us